Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm gonna be doing the hair, alright? This video is gonna pretty much be covering how to draw hair and like breaking it down and understanding how it works. If you're looking to like how to draw like hair textures or how to color hair, this video will not cover that. Right, so with that being said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, or I will pull every single strand of hair out. Don't try me, buddy, don't try. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a head sketch down. This is just a quick drawing I did of a head shape, and we're going to be working with this for our base for the entire video, okay? The first thing I like to establish is going to be a hairline. Now the hairline is pretty much just a way to indicate the section of the head where the hair will stop growing, okay? Think of it as like a block, or just a, I don't know, something that just indicates where the hair is going to stop growing, okay? Once you get a hairline down, the next thing I want to do is establish a growing point, okay? I call these grow points whenever I'm drawing because these are pretty much parts of the head where the hair is all going to be growing from, okay? Now, these can vary. I like to use a dot or a line, okay? Now, the dot or line is optional. You can decide which one you want to do. But if you're going to use a line, just know that's going to pretty much all the hair on the head is going to be coming out of this line and then following the rest of the head. That's pretty much what these dots and lines are for, okay? And the dot one is the same way. All the hair is going to be fanning out from, from that point. As you can see, even though hair grows all over the head, most of the time the hair all has a starting point. So these lines and dots that we put on the head are pretty much our starting point from where we draw the hair, and then from there we can start fanning out and drawing hair on all the other parts of the head. So when you're drawing your head, okay, the first thing you want to do is start by either choosing a line or center dot for all your hair to come from. Doesn't really matter which one you do. That works, the same way essentially. Just decide which one you like the most, okay? And then having all of your hair pretty much flow from this point of the head, okay? And of course, you're gonna have some strands of overlap, okay? And there's some parts of the hair that won't connect all the way. But as long as you just understand that the hair is all coming from that point, it's gonna look much more natural when you start drawing hair on top of your, on your characters. And this can work for any kind of hairstyle. It doesn't really matter what kind of hairstyle you're going for. It's all pretty much the same way. Now, finding the grow spot on the head is just one way that I like to draw hair, but one of my favorite ways and the most common way that I draw hair personally is I actually like to block out the hair first, okay? Blocking out the hair in these shapes, and then once I get that down, then I find my grow spot and I start drawing the strands from there, okay? And also cutting into that shape so it can give it a much more hair texture and not like it's just a helmet on the head or just a big blocky piece of clay. Establishing that spot on the head is very essential, but you can also do it backwards. You don't have to, you don't have to draw the spot first and then draw the hair from there. You can do it the opposite way and draw the hair first and then find the spot within there and draw the strands within inside. And that's one of my favorite ways to draw hair, in my personal opinion. And here's the way I use the line method. Most of the time I use this method when I'm drawing out longer hair on characters or straighter hair. Just finding that line and then blocking out the hair in its basic shapes, okay? I think one of the biggest things that people struggle with when drawing hair is they draw every single individual strand, and that's a horrible way to draw hair, okay? You have to block out the shape first, okay? Think of the hair as one big shape and then start cutting into it and adding your strands after. Don't draw the strands and then start drawing the hair. It's, you want to make sure you get down the shape first and start breaking it out from there. And then you start getting hair that looks much more natural and not like a messy, crazy bunch of lines. And like I said, this method works for all hair types, no matter what, okay? Whether you're drawing spiky hair, curly hair, straight hair, poofy hair, doesn't really matter. It all has the same format, okay? Block out the shape and then start cutting into that shape. Okay, like I did with this hair. This character has much more of, of a spiky hairstyle, and all I did was just draw out the shape of the spikiness on the outside, and then I found my center point and I started drawing the hair from there. And that's pretty much how you want to start drawing hair from now on. Okay, instead of just drawing out a bunch of lines like most beginner artists do, block out the shape and then start drawing out your hair strands. Okay, now I use this method a lot more when I'm drawing, African American hair, 4C texture hair, or even afros. As you can see, I made a big, messy, crazy circle around the head, and then all I did was draw a hairline and then fill it in, and that's pretty much how easy it is to draw, afro type hair. Okay. And also make sure that you guys have an understanding about how hairlines work. Okay, hairlines can vary. They can be arching hairlines like this. They can even be like devil's peak kind of hairlines like that. It all depends on the character you're trying to make. Sometimes they can have a receding hairline too. Sometimes it can be up here, all right, like really high up, or it can be really, really low down. Okay, the hairline can vary depending on the character, and if you can understand how the hairline works, then pretty much everything above that line is free game for you to draw any kind of hair that you want. Okay. So now that you understand how the hair works, the most important thing to do is practice. Okay, I always say this at the end of my tutorials, is to practice the techniques. Okay, practice. Okay, one thing that I would think would really help for you to get understanding about how to draw hair is just going on Google, Pinterest, whatever your favorite reference area is to get pictures from, and just look up hairstyles. Okay, and using those pictures as reference and then breaking down the hair in basic shapes. Okay, there's plenty of hairstyles you can choose from. I'll be doing more tutorials on hair later in the future. This will not be the only one. But before we even move into like coloring hair or drawing out textures in hair, you got to understand how to break down hair first. This is what this video is going to show you, how to draw hair and break it down so that you can draw it easier and it's much more understandable for future videos. So I encourage you to go in your sketchbook or your digital drawing program and just draw out a quick couple of head sketches. Okay, it doesn't have to be detailed. Like I said, you only need the head for the base, like a mannequin, but the most important part is just draw hair. Okay, and draw different kinds of hair too, different hair types, hair textures, all that good stuff, and it'll be much easier for you to get a grasp on how it works by just by studying and doing the same thing over and over again. But one of the biggest no-nos when it comes to drawing hair is drawing every single individual strand until you build up the hair. Okay, that's horrible when it comes to hair. Even when you're drawing realistic hair. Okay, it doesn't come across as realistic because the hair doesn't work like that. Even though the hair are individual strands, number one, that's time consuming and tedious, and number two, at the end of the day, you get this weird, scratchy, messy clump of just lines that don't look like hair, looks more like a really, really old broom. Okay, and you don't want to end up with hair like that when you're drawing your characters. Okay, now drawing hair by itself is already difficult enough. Okay, just the way hair grows naturally is already difficult by itself, but it's a whole different ball game when you're trying to draw hair, hairstyles like braids or even locks. Stuff like that is a whole different topic that we're going to talk about in another video, in a future video. But for now, just focus on drawing hair in this basic form. Okay, drawing hair the way it grows normally and understanding how that works, so that when you get to the more advanced levels, it's much more easier to understand and get a grasp of. But anyway, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys learned a lot. If you guys did, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon, where you get way more in-depth tutorials. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace out.